Hello, my name is Kate Fryer, and today we will be talking about exporting and importing files from Revit to Onuma. A few features of Onuma: its great interoperability. It is a web-based program, and it works with almost any of the programs out there. A few programs that it does work with is ArchiCAD, GIS, Ecotech, Navisworks, Fusion, SketchUp, and it has many tools inside of it as well. It can define spaces for you, it can do estimates, it can duplicate rooms and other things that you've already made, and there can also be a time aspect added to it as well. So the system is really known for its openness and interoperability. It's very easy to share information with people through the Onuma systems, and it really lets people be able to communicate really well with a project. As you see today, we're on the Onuma website, and this is where you get started. It is web-based, as I said, so you do have to sign up for this. You'll get a password and a username instead of having to download the whole program onto your computer. Once you get signed in, this is going to be the main page of the Onuma system that has all of your information on it, along with other people's projects that they allow you to see. So to get from Revit to Onuma, which is what we're going to be talking about today, many of the Onuma sites talk about a plugin that you can just download and it goes into Revit. And this is a great tool to use, except for in the last week when I've been playing with Onuma, it actually hasn't had the plugin, so it's been very difficult to figure out how to import Revit files without the plugin that it tells you to use. It did in the last week or so actually get the plugin, so it does have that plugin available now, but I would like to show you how to move Revit files into Onuma without using the plugin, because Revit 2013 has been out for almost a year and this plugin just came out, so it's almost like Onuma isn't exactly prepared and on time with what they're putting on their website, so I want everyone to be able to use Revit in Onuma without being able to use the plugin. So instead of going in here, which is the place where they usually have all their plugins for Navisworks, Onuma, Revit, all that good stuff, we're going to go to the DDS Viewer to convert IFC to BIM XML. You do have to download this, so you can go ahead and click on it, click the application, install it. I've already done so on my computer. So we will now move over and go into Revit. Now that we are over in Revit, we need to export this file. This is a file I've already had of a hotel, and we're going to export this and put this into Onuma. So you go up to Revit, and you're going to go to Export, and it will... The option that we want to choose is going to be IFC. It saves a file in this format, which is the format that the DDS Viewer is going to need to use. So you can go ahead and save it. I'm just going to save this as Grand View Hotel. I'm going to put it on my desktop because it's going to be easier for me to find. You guys can save, of course, wherever it's easier for you to save onto your laptop. And then once this is done, we'll go over and get onto the desktop and put this in the DDS Viewer. We're now in the DDS Viewer, so we need to bring that file that we just saved on our desktop as an IFC file, and we need to bring it into the viewer, which is right here. I'm going to open that. It will take a couple seconds to get everything inside the program, but it doesn't take too long. And then as you can see, here's my hotel. And now I'm going to just export it. I don't really want to change anything inside this viewer, even though it does have a few options for a few different things. And instead of actually going to the file and exporting anything, you have to right click on this position right here, and then it says Export BIM XML, and it says Onuma after it. So this is the option that we're going to choose. So we're going to go ahead and put it exactly where we want. We'll just call it the same thing. So we'll call it Grand View Hotel again. And we're going to save that onto the desktop. And now we're going to move over to Onuma. Now that we're in Onuma, we need to open up a new project or space. So we're going to go ahead and go over to New right here. And then since it works with GIS, you actually get to pick where you want it to go. Well, we're going to name it first. Grand View Hotel. You can put what dollar you want, and I usually do the basic set of values when I'm just doing some basic things and I don't want too much time taken up and all of that. And now I can just pick anywhere in the world. I can either enter a city or a name or address, or I can just go ahead and pick a spot here. We'll just go ahead and pick this diagram. All you have to do is click and make your area that you'd like to use. And now that the space is selected, you can go ahead and scroll down and you can proceed. The Onuma system will send the data of the GIS to what you chose, and then we'll go ahead and open a program for you. This just happens to be a parking lot. If we wanted to change this, we could go over here to map, and we could do a street map, and it wouldn't show us the cars in the parking lot if we chose to. But now we want to import our building that we have, so we're going to go to import, and then we are going to be importing a BIM XML file from the DDS Viewer, and then choose a file. We're going to go on here and choose the file that we just downloaded. As you can see, I chose the file right here, and we want to import this, so we'll click import. It's going to read it, and it shows all of the rooms that I have, which, as a note, is a requirement. I tried to use the DDS Viewer without defining any spaces or rooms. You must have defined spaces and rooms for the importer to work. It will attempt to import it into Onuma, but it will not come out as the building that you have unless you have your spaces defined. So that is definitely something to note when using the Onuma system and using the DDS by converting or importing the files that you need. So here's our building. Right here is going to be a hotel, and there's a few options to the side that are pretty basic. We can go ahead and rotate this building if we'd like. Select the building and then rotate, and go ahead and click, bring it out, and then just turn it if we wanted it like this angle. And then there's also a move button, so we can move it if we want to move it back or over here. It's just however we want to use that. And then if we go, this will show us each of the floors that we have made. Since I do have rooms in the 1st, 2nd, and 7th floors, it'll go ahead and show us our floor view plan. So now these are the rooms that I've chosen. These are the guest rooms on a level. So these rooms have to be defined for Onuma to read them and have them come up in this setting. And then we can double click on our rooms and we can actually classify them. So this is one of the things that is really nice about the Onuma system. We can go ahead and choose a different name for them. So say guest room, let's start with 1001. And you can name all of the rooms in the building. You can even copy them from floors. So let's say I only have this on the 2nd floor, but I want it to go up all the way to the 6th floor. Since I don't have any rooms up in my building at that point, I can go ahead and save that, and it will actually copy that exact room up into the next floors. Also, another great feature that Onuma has is a 3D view. So it wants us to save. And now that it's saved, it's going to load a GIS view. Since Onuma does have GIS in the program itself, it will load up a GIS 3D model of us for our model here. There we go. And that's our building that we have on our site. So we'll zoom in a little bit, and you can see that that's our hotel that we have. And you can go ahead and move it. It moves in all sorts of different ways. And so you can see all the different floors and everything that we have going on. And it's a great way just to get a visual on your site and of the building just to see how that's working. Now that I've shared a few features of you with the Onuma system, I want to say a few pros and cons. I think that the web-based system instead of a program that you have to download is definitely a pro. It doesn't slow down your computer when you're going back and forth to other programs, and I think it's great. As well as its interoperability to use so many programs with a big group of people, I think it's a great pro. Some of the cons are the importing and exporting issues, and definitely the timeliness of getting the items on their website that they say are available. Those are definitely some of the cons that I see as well. But I appreciate you listening today, and that will be all. Thanks for your time.